everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing a long overdue giant book haul. So I kind of stopped doing book hauls, not for any particular reason really. I was still buying and receiving books, so the result of that is I have I bet you I have more than 50 books to haul. So what I decided to do is split it up into separate hauls. So I'm going to be doing a separate haul with books that I have received from publishers and subscription boxes and stuff like that. And this haul is going to be books that I have bought. So all the books in this book haul were purchased with my own money, except for the first book that I'm going to talk about. So I guess we'll just get started. So today's video is sponsored by Disney Book Group in honor of the recent release of 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. This book sounds so cute, really Christmassy, and I absolutely cannot wait to read it. I've been super into romance lately, and this is a YA romantic contemporary, just kind of a fun, fluffy read, and I'm all about that. So it follows the main character, Sophie, and Sophie has just been dumped, so she's really devastated about that. She was looking forward to spending the Christmas break with her boyfriend, but now she doesn't know what she's going to do. So her extended family decides to plan her 10 blind dates, and they have some very interesting things planned for her, but she decides that, yeah, she's gonna do it. She agrees to spend her Christmas break going on these 10 blind dates. So I'm so excited for the hilarity that I believe is going to ensue with that storyline. I love it. I think it's so cute, and I just cannot wait to dive into this. So I will have a link down below with more information about this book, as well as where you can go and purchase it, because I think it's gonna be a really fun, cute Christmassy read. And I know it seems too early to talk about Christmas, but I don't really like Halloween, and it's never too early to talk about Christmas, honestly, and you can read this whenever you want because it can always be Christmas, okay? I give you permission to celebrate Christmas as soon as you want to. So the rest of the books in this haul are all ones that I purchased with my own money. So first we have With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I don't believe I've hauled this before. I know I hauled the ARC at one point. If I have already hauled some of these, I'm really sorry. I was trying so hard to remember what I had already hauled and what I hadn't, and it was a struggle. I'm never gonna wait this long to do a book haul again because yikes. But I read the ARC of this a while ago and I really enjoyed it, so I decided I wanted to get a finished copy, especially because this cover is so beautiful. It is amazing, and wait for it. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just such a stunning book inside and out. Oh my god, I love it so much. But aesthetics aside, it's also a really great story. So it follows Emily, and Emily is a teen mom, and she really loves cooking, and I have been so into cooking recently that has been all I've been doing is cooking everything. So I should read this again, honestly. But she wants to go on this field trip to Spain, and it's really all about her life. There's not a super big plot line, but it was a really enjoyable story, and I loved the family dynamics, and I have talked about this in a recent reads video, so I will link that down below for you guys. Any of these books that I have already read and talked about in a recent reads video, I will link down below for you guys with the timestamp, so then you can go and hear more in-depth and clear thoughts about them if you are interested. Next is Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. This is another one where I had the ARC, but unfortunately I never got the chance to read it, but I do have the finished copy now, and I am planning on reading it hopefully soon. My reading has just been all over the place lately, so I've been wanting to read everything, but also not wanting to pick up everything. It's very confusing. But this was described as a love letter to the LGBTQ plus community, and I just think that sounds beautiful and amazing, and I have heard some really great things, so I'm excited to dive into it. Next is Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the final book, the finale, if you will. Do you see what I did there? Of the Caraval, really I didn't do it, they did it, but of the Caraval trilogy. It is a trilogy, isn't it? Yes. There's so many series that were trilogies, and then they keep on adding on, so it's throwing me off completely, but this is the final book, and I am very excited to read it. I haven't gotten the chance to get to it yet, which is tragic, but I really enjoy that series. I love the atmosphere of it, and I liked the second book a lot, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go and where it's going to end up, because it was supposed to be a duology. That's what it was. It was supposed to be a duology, and then they ended up adding this book, but I did get a signed copy, which is really exciting, and I love the purple cover. It is beautiful, so hopefully I will be able to get to this soon soon because I do want to try and prioritize sequels a little bit more since I've been really bad about that, so I need to get back at it. Next is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is like the perfect quintessential fall read, and I actually am planning on reading it when I'm going to be doing just my own little 24-hour readathon for Halloween. Not on Halloween because I want to put the video up on Halloween day, so I'm going to do it like sometime before Halloween, so look out for that. I'm not really sure when, but this is kind of like, I don't think it's really a Halloween-y read, but it is a story that is set in a pumpkin patch, and like that just sounds so cute. Like, look at the map of this pumpkin patch. Oh my god. But since it's a graphic novel, it's going to be really easy to read on a 24-hour readathon day. And even though it's not like particularly spooky or anything, I still think it has the fall vibes that I really love. So I'm looking forward to being able to read this. I think it might be a love story. I'm not exactly sure. I just know I've heard some great things and I was like, pumpkins, fall, sign me up. I love that aesthetic. Now for a more kind of spooky Halloween read. Next is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be a little bit like Undead Girl Gang, which I read last Halloween. I think I read it on my 24-hour readathon day, actually. I'm not 100% sure, but that was kind of like a fun sort of Mean Girls twist on a zombie story, and I really liked that. So I'm thinking this is going to be sort of a witchy twist on a Mean Girls story. I don't know if I'm just making that up in my head, but I know that it deals with elemental magic and elemental witches, and that sounds really cool and like something I would like. So hopefully it gives me all these spooky sort of witchy things that I am looking for. And while we're still on the topic of witches, next is The Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams. So this is like a Babysitter's Club but witches mashup, and that just sounds so cool. It sounds like it's going to be really funny and just kind of weird. Like, I wouldn't expect that mashup, but I'm definitely here for it and intrigued by it. And I love this cover too, like that purple spine. Oh, everything about it. The color is so pretty. It kind of matches my room, actually, so maybe that's why I like it. Next, I picked up Circe by Madeline Miller. I picked this up because it is our bookmarked book of the month for September, October, so since we were all very busy, we decided to extend it an extra month. So the live show will be, I believe it's on October 27th at 3 p.m. It's the last Sunday of the month. I'll have the information on the screen for you guys as well as down below, but I haven't really gotten the chance to start this yet. I had read the first chapter, but I haven't gotten fully into it. We are reading this because it's one of Hannah's favorite books. She really loved it, and it's all about Circe, and she gets exiled, I believe, and she has like relationships with humans, so like it's kind of her deciding between her mortal heritage or her godly heritage. And yeah, it just sounds really cool, and I know Hannah liked it, and I trust Hannah's opinion, even though like we sometimes don't like the same books. I feel like it's gonna be really interesting to read one of her favorites and see how I feel about it. So if you would like to join us in discussing this book, you do still have some time to pick it up, and hopefully you will, and we will have a great discussion. Speaking of bookmarked books of the month, next is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This was our book of the month back in, I don't even know, was it June or something? I'm not sure, but we did have a discussion about this, so I will link that down below for you guys. I love the cover of this, loved the concept. The book was kind of a miss for me, so if you want more thoughts, I'll just have that link down below for you guys, my recent reads and stuff too, because I don't want to tear this book apart anymore because I feel really bad about it, but it just wasn't for me. Next is a book that I'm currently reading, and that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is another witch book. I swear, like, I don't have all that many witch books. I just happen to be picking them all up, but I'm listening to the audiobook for this right now, and I've kind of been struggling with it a little bit. It is starting to pick up. Like, now today, I've finally been getting more into it, but it is a witchy story that is set in France in, I think it's the 19th century. I don't even remember. How bad is that? And I'm like currently reading it, but it's about a witch and a witch hunter, and they end up getting married, and like that just sounds like a recipe for lots of things to happen, and there have been things happening, but the romance is starting to pick up, and that's kind of the plot that I'm here for. The rest of it is like, okay, it's not a bad book. I would say right now it's like a 3 out of 5 stars, but we will see when I finish it. But I did get a finished copy because it is so beautiful. Like, look at that. Ooh, we've got Booksnake again, but he's an ampersand this time. Just Booksnake living its best life. I know this isn't like actual Booksnake, but it is a snake, and it's on a book, and it's fitting with the trend. We have a kitty visitor. Say hi, Ella. Oh, okay. She like wanted to be here for a hot second, and then she was like, nope, I'm done. Classic cat. There's also fur literally everywhere now. Anyways, moving on. Next, I picked up Spark by Alice Broadway. This is the sequel to Ink, which I read last year and really enjoyed. It's a YA dystopian, and in the world, everything that you've done in your life is tattooed on your body. So like your whole story is on your body and stuff, which was very cool. It was a really interesting concept, and I think it was executed very well. And this is now out in Canada because it wasn't out in Canada for a while. The books come out in the UK, I believe, first, and then they come out in Canada. So I'm like a year behind on the series. I think someone said that the next one is out already, but I'm just gonna wait until they come out in Canada. But these are beautiful books. Like the cover is honestly what first intrigued me, but then the concept really pulled me in and hooked me. But like, look at it once again under the cover. Oh, I love when publishers do that. So I'm very excited to get to this sequel, hopefully soon. Like I said, I need to get to sequels because I'm so bad about that. Next is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. I can't for the life of me remember if I've hauled this already, but I've had it for a very long time, so it's kind of possible that I already did, and if that is the case, I apologize. But look at this beautiful cover. Oh my goodness. But this is sort of like, it reminds me of Narnia, and I love the concept of it. It's about these kids who go to a Narnia-esque world, and then they come back, and it's like what happens after you've been to this fantasy universe when you're trying to get back to reality. And the reality that they're in is also kind of scary because they are in London during World War II. So everything about this is very Narnia-esque, and I'm intrigued. Next, I picked up Jane Steele by Lyndsay Faye. This is actually an adult novel. I have been kind of getting further into the adult genre, even beyond romance, but like mostly romance. But beyond that, I've been getting a couple of things. So this was a Hannah suggestion. It is a Jane Eyre retelling, but like Jane Eyre is a serial killer, I think? Yeah, it's a reimagining of Jane Eyre as a gutsy, heroic serial killer. Reader, I murdered him is one of the first lines. I love that. This sounds so cool. I honestly kind of bought this on impulse, so I kind of forgot what it was about, but hopefully I'll be able to maybe squeeze it in sometime this month. I don't really know, but I think I'm gonna try. Next is another adult book, and it is indeed an adult romance, and that is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I was seeing this book everywhere, and I love the cover of it. I think it's beautiful, and it's a historical romance, which I haven't gotten into yet, so maybe this will introduce me to even more romances that I'll like. But it's set in England in 1879 and follows one of the first female students at Oxford University. I love that. It sounds so good already, so hopefully I'll be able to get to this soon. Next is Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco. This was the final book of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I have already read it. I listened to the audiobook because I really enjoy listening to the series on audio, and I'm very sad that it's over, but I'm also kind of glad that it's wrapped up, and it was lovely to be with the characters again. I love Thomas Cresswell, as you guys know. He is great, top-notch book boyfriend, and I think I'm sad that I'm not going to get much more of him, but at the same time, I think it was time for the series to be done. I did really enjoy this finale. I will be talking about it in my next recent reads video, but at the same time, I think the series went interesting ways. Like, it started off really being about the mystery, and then in the end, it was kind of more focused on the romance, which I didn't necessarily mind so much, but it did kind of take an interesting turn. But I'm very happy that I read this series. I really loved it. So now I just need to find a new Thomas Cresswell to read about. We have another cat visitor. Hello, Lucy. She's like purring, but also meowing to get away, so I'm getting mixed signals here. What do you want from me? Next, I picked up Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I was hearing so much about this book. Like, this was definitely one where I was like, is the hype really worth it? Maybe I'll do a video where I read all the hyped up books that I have, that I've bought. Oh my goodness, I wrote 2 books. What the heck? That I have bought because of the hype, and see if they're worth it. Let me know if you would be interested in that. But this is definitely one of them. So people are saying it's kind of like Lord of the Flies. At first I thought it was a retelling, but I don't think it's actually a retelling. I think it's just kind of inspired by that and gives those vibes. But if you know anything about Lord of the Flies, that basically means that there will be like a bunch of girls who are abandoned and then they have to try and survive. So kind of like a survivalist story. I'm trying to determine if it's spooky. I know some people have said that it is, so I'm gonna try and read it in October, and hopefully it will be a good Halloween read. Next is I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maurene. This is a contemporary romance that is K-drama inspired, I believe, and I'm not really into K-dramas because I'm not really into TV in general. Like, I just really like watching comedies when I'm gonna watch TV. But I had heard some really great things about this, and I was looking to add some more YA contemporary to my shelves because I didn't have that much to read, and I wanted some for summer, and then I never got to this one, but I will get to it hopefully soon. Probably not soon because I can't get to all of these soon, but I do want to get to it. Next is Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This was one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and I've tried reading it a couple of times, and I don't know if it's just like the mindset that I'm in, I'm not in the mood for it or what, but I've been having a hard time getting into it. I'm not giving up on it yet because I do love this author duo. Illuminae Files is one of my favorite trilogies. I loved it so much, so I just want to love this, so I'm gonna give it another chance, but I think if on the third try I'm not getting into it, then I'm gonna have to DNF it, and that's really sad, but I'm withholding judgment until I try it again. But it's another sci-fi story, so maybe that's why I'm not really into it. I don't know, but I'm sad about it. Next are two books that I can't believe I haven't hauled yet. Maybe I have, but I don't think I did. But I have talked about them so much recently that I'm like, it's really weird that I don't think I've hauled them, but that is Prince Charming and Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. You guys have heard me talk about these. They're so cute. They're like modern day royal romances, and I love everything about that. They are just brilliant. I have talked about them so much, so I'm just gonna link where I've talked about them before down below for you guys because I'm sure you're sick of hearing about them, but please read them because they are great. If you're looking for a fluffy, cute, fun romance, look no further than right here. Next is American Royals by Katharine McGee. Katharine McGee is the author of the thousandth Floor, which I only read the first book of it, but it was like a sci-fi twist on Gossip Girl. Very cool, liked it a lot, and this super intriguing to me. We're getting to royalty once again. I love royalty, but this is like reimagining if when America won the Revolutionary War, George Washington was given a crown and the House of Washington still sits on the throne. So it's if America had a monarchy instead of, I don't even know the word for it. I hate politics, but you know what I mean. So I love the idea of imagining a monarchy in modern day. Like, sounds so cool. So I think this is going to be really fun, drama filled, and I'm here for it. Next is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This has blue edges, which are so beautiful. I love that. They're like really dark blue, so you kind of can't see it, but they are blue, I promise. But this is all about Frank, who is caught in between his parents' expectations for him as he's Korean, and they want him to date a Korean girl, but he has fallen in love with a white girl, and that is not what his parents want. So there's this other girl who is also caught between her parents' expectations and what she wants, and they agree to start fake dating so they can help each other out and actually date who they want. And like the fake dating trope, I love it so much, so I can see how this is gonna go wrong, but like I'm very excited about it. Next is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This is another graphic novel. I've kind of been getting into them recently, but it is so beautiful. I read this when I was visiting Zoe at the beginning of September, and I enjoyed it so much that I decided to go and buy my own copy because I had read her copy, but it was so beautiful and cute, and I talked about it in the recent reads video, so I'll link that down below for you guys, but definitely check it out if you are looking for a cute romantic sort of fairy tale graphic novel. This one is great. And the final book that I have to haul today is The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. This is the latest book from this historical fiction author. She's one of my favorite authors, and I had an arc of this, but I never got the chance to get to it. But it is set in Spain after the Civil War, and that's not really a time period that I'm super familiar with, so I'm interested to learn more about it. And like I said, I really love Ruta Sepetys and trust her. She researches her topics very well and writes beautiful stories surrounding them. So that is all for today's book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, which is out now, and I will have a link down below for you guys to go and check it out. So like I said, that is just the tip of the iceberg of the books that I have to haul. I actually have all the rest out like over there because I was just going to do it as one big haul, but I would be here forever, so I'm glad that I decided to split it up. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that subscribe button button and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. And you can also follow me on all of my social media because I'm constantly updating there. So I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!